CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, adult film star Stormy Daniels has taken the stand. It's in the hush money trial of former President Donald Trump. CBS News Miami's Michael George has more on the key testimony.
Former President Donald Trump's attorney asked for a mistrial, calling Tuesday's testimony from adult film star Stormy Daniels extraordinarily prejudicial. The judge denied the request, but did agree some things were better left unsaid. Daniels recalled meeting the former president in his hotel suite in Lake Tahoe in 2006. She testified they spoke for 2 hours, including a mention of Melania Trump. And Daniels said when she came out of the bathroom, the former president was on the bed wearing boxers and a T-shirt. She told the court they ultimately had sex, and she took a cab back to her hotel, telling very few people what had happened.
A few things the prosecution has brought out is that he never asked her to keep quiet about this. He never asked her to keep it from his wife, and these are things that the defense will want to raise later.
Trump denies the alleged encounter.
The prosecution has to establish that the former president had an incentive to cover up these payments to Stormy Daniels, to make the payments and cover it up. And in order to do that, the prosecution has to show that she would have been a compelling figure had she told this story right before the election.
On the stand, Daniels detailed the financial arrangement, testifying she signed a contract in exchange for her silence, and the $130,000 payment was late. Earlier, Trump called the criminal trial unfair and said there's no smoking gun.
That's what they're trying to get us on, the fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense.
Trump also railed against the judge's gag order on his way into court, calling it unconstitutional, but made no mention of Daniels by name. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Now to the very latest on the Israel-Hamas war. Israel's prime minister has ordered military to begin operations in Rafah. Israel says it is necessary to secure the freedom of hostages still being held by Hamas. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
The Israeli army released this video showing its tanks rolling into the border crossing connecting the southern Gaza city of Rafah and Egypt.
This does look like the prelude of a major military operation. We have not yet seen that operation commence.
Rafah is Hamas's last stronghold, and some families of Israeli hostages say they're worried a full-scale military operation will endanger their loved ones.
We watch in horror as the military operation in Rafah unfolds.
Israel has warned civilians in parts of Rafah to flee, but the U.S. says Israel has not done enough to protect the more than 1 million Palestinians taking refuge in the city. CBS News has confirmed the U.S. has postponed the delivery of some ammunition to Israel, with one official saying that the holdup is designed to send a message about the Biden administration's opposition to the Rafah operation.
It's not just this limited operation, but the ordering of the evacuation of 100,000 people. And we have made clear that we don't think the kind of military operation that would follow such an evacuation is one that we can support.
House Speaker Mike Johnson accused Biden of politicizing the aid, which he says is needed.
Trying to defend their nation against the threats that are facing them. And now I think it's very important that we deliver that critical assistance without any delay at all.
Director William Burns is in Egypt, working with Israel and Hamas as they continue to negotiate a potential ceasefire in Gaza. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
In Washington, D.C., President Joe Biden spoke at the Holocaust remembrance event. During his remarks, the president condemned the surge of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. The president also said we are at risk of people not knowing the truth when talking about the horrors of the Holocaust. New details. It's into the arrest of a man accused of kidnapping his own wife. Anna Nezovich went missing on February 2nd in Madrid. Officials say her husband, David, resembled a man wearing a motorcycle helmet. The man was seen spray painting cameras outside of an apartment that his wife was staying at. He was then seen leaving with a suitcase. That was on the morning after his wife's disappearance. The FBI said that David texted a woman on a dating app asking if she would translate a text into perfect Colombian Spanish for a friend. The FBI says the woman made the translation and sent it back. That same morning, officials say Anna's friends reached out because they received an out-of-character text from her. They alerted police over the weekend. David was arrested at MIA. He's facing a slew of charges.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside at downtown Miami, it is beginning to look and feel a lot like summer. Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler joining us now. Cindy, I stepped outside right before our show. It is brutally hot out there.
Just wait, Naja. No, it's going to get a lot hotter than it is today. High so far today has been 86 degrees. I think that's going to be our high. Right now we're back down to 85. Easterly winds have become gusty this afternoon, pulling in some low-level moisture, but we have dry air aloft, so there's some clouds that are trying to form. I don't think we're going to see any rain right here. If we get any showers going, it would be over the interior and the west side of the state because we've got that flow pushing everything that direction. So big heat by the end of the week. I'm talking big heat, drier air settling in. No rain is expected for us on this side of the state. Mother's Day weekend, we could find a few showers and thunderstorms coming up this weekend. Rainy season is going to be kicking in right on schedule. This also is day 3 of Hurricane Preparedness Week. So today we are focusing on understanding forecast information. So important. Have a trusted source to get your information. Don't go to the internet or the social media because you don't know where that's from. You want to get that information from the Hurricane Center. Know your alerts. The difference between a watch and a warning, very important. Focus on potential impacts, not necessarily the storm's size or the category. And know that deadly hazards occur well outside of the forecast zone. And that includes wind and also flooding as well. That storm surge, that is the #1 killer when it comes to tropical storms and hurricanes. So we're going to continue to give you information on that for the rest of the week, going into hurricane season on June 1st. Spotty little clouds. Moisture, look at this. Now you got the Gulf sea breeze kicking in, the Atlantic sea breeze meeting it, so you got a little bit of lift. Showers and thunderstorms starting to develop in the western part of Monroe County. Lots of dry air aloft. That's all the orange and the brown colors. So a lot of these storms are going to be very low level and just a few thunderstorms developing because we have the sea breeze coalition out there. We won't see anything here. We're going to stay dry. Same thing again tomorrow. If anything does get going, it would be over the interior and, of course, the west. Winds out of the southeast again tomorrow, about 10 to 15. Could have some gusts up to 20. And then we're going to see a wind change. Southerly winds Thursday, Friday into Saturday, westerly winds, and that's really going to bring in the heat. Check out these temperatures. Upper 80s the next 2 days. Then we hit the 90s. Friday, Saturday. Feels like it could be near 100 degrees in spots. Hot and dry, you bet, until we get into the weekend. Then we're going to start to see a few showers and thunderstorms by the afternoon. So here's your forecast. Whoo, look at this, building up 93, 94. Saturday should be the hottest day. And then every day after that, a chance for showers and thunderstorms.
When we come back, the latest efforts from the United Teachers of Dade. It's to get teachers a boost in their salaries. Stay with us. In Fort Lauderdale, it is demolition day. The city has officially began to demolish the old city hall on Andrews Avenue. It was badly damaged in last year's historic flooding. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner is there now with how it's going so far.
When they started privately demolishing the old City Hall building, they found a time capsule within the walls. The mayor told me he had no idea that it was in the walls, but he loves the idea so much that he plans on putting another time capsule into the new City Hall. I asked him if he had to pick today one item that he would put into the time capsule that symbolizes a huge moment for Fort Lauderdale. He told me a signed soccer ball by Lionel Messi.
This is what the streets of Fort Lauderdale looked like in April 2023.
The basement hosted a lot of our electrical, mechanical, and plumbing equipment. We had, for instance, a lot of the equipment that supports the HVAC for City Hall was in the basement. The basement was totally flooded.
City manager Greg Chavaria said the money and time it would require to get it all fixed.
The city officials saw the data and determined that it was time to move on.
So Tuesday, the walls are starting to come down. The city can then decide to build a new city hall on top of the demolished site, sell the land and look for another spot, or buy an existing building.
The city has various assets and those are land assets, and the determination of where City Hall will be, that's a discussion that the commission has to have. But certainly the majority of many are saying that, they would like to have City Hall centric to the entire city, and that is in downtown. So we're looking forward to having those discussions later on.
Built in the 1960s, the building, a cornerstone of Fort Lauderdale. But past leaders must have known it would eventually come down, because hidden within the walls, a time capsule.
We're looking at unveiling that time capsule, looking at what our past leaders thought about the future, and certainly, we're looking forward to the future.
The mayor told me that he agrees. He believes the new City Hall should be somewhere downtown within the core of the city. He hopes that the new City Hall will be done sometime in the next year. In Fort Lauderdale, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
As we approach the summer season and the school year winds down, the question remains, will our teachers get paid more next year? CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch has the latest from the United Teachers of Dade.
The United Teachers of Dade tells us it's alarmed by a brand new report that teacher salaries here in Florida have dropped to the bottom of the list, going from number 48 to number 50 nationwide. The UTD is calling on state lawmakers for help. We are hearing from the UTD as well as one local lawmaker and 2 teachers as well, who tell us they are having to work 3 jobs to make ends meet. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight at 6 on CBS News Miami. This is Peter Dench, CBS News Miami.
Miami-Dade County Public Schools and the Miami-Dade County Police Department announced a new school bus safety program. It is called Bus Patrol. This will be South Florida's first and largest school bus camera enforcement program in the country. It is aimed at keeping students safe when they get on or off the school bus. Drivers who illegally pass a stopped school bus will get a $200 ticket in the mail. System goes live tomorrow morning. That's on all of the county's 1,000 school buses. And finally, this afternoon, it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt championed National Teacher Day back in 1953. It is a way to honor teachers. The National Parent Teacher Association established the entire first full week of May as National Teacher Appreciation Week. And a special thank you to all of our amazing educators out there. That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.